Before I pray, just thank you very much for everything y'all do. It's very rare that I get the opportunity to attend a board meeting and then leave after I pray. So I'm going straight here to Vacation Bible School tonight. But in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty God, source of all wisdom and giver of every good gift, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this evening and for those who have accepted the responsibility of serving on this Board of Education. Grant these board members wisdom, integrity, patience, and discernment as they make decisions that will affect students, families, teachers, administrators, and staff throughout our county. Bless the work of our schools, protect our children, encourage those who teach and care for them, and help all who serve in education to pursue what is true, honorable, and beneficial for the next generation. Give us humility in our discussions, respect for one another, and a sincere desire to seek the common good. We ask these things through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you.
Next will be April Underwood for our Pledge of Allegiance. Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, justice for all. May be seated. At this time, I seek adjustments or approval of the agenda as presented. Oh, I'm sorry. I seek approval of the minutes from the June 22nd, 2026. I have to put my glasses on my eyes instead of my head. The June 2026 meeting, and you've all had the privilege to look at before this point.
I make that motion.
Hearing a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. Unanimous, thank you. Next up is the adjustment approval of the agenda presented by Dr. Stover.
Thank you, Chairman Settlemeyer, members of the board. We have no need for any adjustments this evening.
Seek a motion for approval of the agenda as presented.
That motion.
Hearing a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. Unanimous, thank you. Next up is the chairman's report. I'd like to give a shout out to our school nutrition program. Over the summer, they have fed, so far, we're still working on it, 191,073 meals and counting through 6 strategically located feeding sites. We're helping feed hundreds of children across Catawba County every pickup day while serving Quest every day. This runs through August 10th, ages 1 through 18. Pickups on Monday and Thursdays from 3:30 to 5:30. Pickups include breakfast and lunch. Special thank you to our incredible bus site leaders, Heidi and Danielle, and their dedication teams who brave the heat and rain to ensure children have access to nutritious meals. Thank you. Next up is public comment, led by Ms. April Underwood.
Catawba County Board of Education appreciates and welcomes all public comments. Members of the public who have signed up to speak may address board members on any topic of concern during the public comment section of a regular meeting. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to address board members. A time clock will be displayed to assist each speaker with their 3-minute time limit. Speakers should direct their comments to board members rather than to the audience. Comments by members of the public should be respectful without slander toward any other member of the public, community members, or any member of the Catawba County Board of Education. Any displays of approval or disapproval are out of order unless otherwise directed.
Good evening. A wise man once said, and the wise man I'm referring to is Pastor John Pavlovitz. Maybe some of you have heard of him. He is a man who is both wiser and more articulate than I am. Anyway, this wise man recently said, America isn't politically divided, it's morally fractured. I agree with him, but I think in terms more along the lines of levels of evil. Moral fractures include dishonesty, lacking integrity and ethics, straying from the path of your spiritual leader, and hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is a moral fracture I'm seeing an awful lot lately. For example, there is an upcoming school board election, and I'm guessing every single candidate will have parents' rights on their buzzword bingo card. Who doesn't want parents' rights? It's the center square of the bingo card. Everybody agrees parents should have decision authority over their own children. I have heard school board candidates tout parents' rights and turn around and endorse banning books from public school libraries. Perhaps to them, parents' rights only apply when the parents agree with them. If the parents have a different perspective, well, you can't have that nonsense. So they use the power of the school board to eliminate the different parents' choice by banning the books they find offensive. Shifting gears, surprisingly enough, I recently witnessed an event even deeper level of evil. Charlatans that feed people misinformation for their own aggrandizement. You know, I'm always amazed at how much people like being lied to when the lie is a narrative they want to believe. Misinformation for the purpose of personal aggrandizement and or to lure people into doing bad things. Hitler is a symbolic grand master of this. He told his people they, the Aryan race, were superior and Jews were subhuman vermin. This misinformation helped him to solidify his power and enable his subordinates to make the leap into performing evil deeds. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick of Texas recently stood in the Oval Office and pontificated nonsense to an audience that is either too ignorant, many by choice, or too stupid to know he's gaslighting them. He said separation of church and state was not in the Constitution, implying that interleaving church and state is constitutionally legal. That is total garbage. By that logic, one could say, thou shalt not murder is not in the Constitution. Therefore, North Carolina can pass a law to make murder legal every February 29th. Go for it. See how long that lasts before it's struck down on constitutional Fifth Amendment grounds, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. The Constitution doesn't use the exact words, thou shalt not murder, but murder is clearly illegal in the Constitution. Likewise, the Constitution doesn't use the exact words, separation of church and state, but it is in the Constitution via the First Amendment's Establishment Clause. Looks like I'm done for today. We'll see y'all next month.
Thank you, Mr. Wiederman. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda presented by Dr. Stover.
Thank you, Chairman Summer, members of the board. In your packet is our consent agenda. We do ask for approval over those items this evening.
Seek a motion to approve the consent agenda. There are no questions for Dr. Stover.
That motion.
Hearing a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. Unanimous, thank you. Next up is new business, presentation on the 2026 teacher working surveys, condition surveys for Catawba County Schools, presented by first time presenter, Dr. Chad Maynard. Let's everybody give him a round of applause. I know it's not a big crowd tonight, but you know.
That's the way I like it, just all tight-knit groups. So before I begin, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you, Chairman Sotomayor, Vice Chairman Underwood, members of the board, Dr. Stover, cabinet members who've given me your support and afforded me this opportunity. I'm both honored and humbled to step into this role, to fill some big shoes Mr. Miller's left behind, but I promise to work hard to do my very best. So thank you again for this opportunity. It's a great pleasure to talk about the teacher working condition survey. As I begin, I would like to say that in review of the teacher working condition survey, Catawba County Schools continue to exceed state averages and was ahead of every other state average in all 11 categories, which tells me it remains a great place to work and learn. Our response rate this year was approximately 96%, 1,089 of a potential 1,136 respondents being certified staff with Catawba County Schools completed the survey. Whoops, Marty, I may have to say your name again. And go back. You got me? All right. Right clicker. All right. There we go. I'm cooking gas now. All right. The first item is retention. Some of the items that are noted is approximately 96%. Felt like Catawba County was a great place to work and learn. They're proud to work here and we recommend the school to their parents. It's clear that Catawba County staff has a strong sense of pride, loyalty, and satisfaction with their schools. As far as leadership, 96% felt that school leaders encourage the application of professional learning, set clear expectations for instruction. 93% effectively manage daily observation. So our principals are well respected by the teaching staff of Catawba County, and continued efforts to add administrative classroom presence in the classrooms could further strengthen this. That is actually something that we're going to be talking about at the administrator retreat on Thursday. Teacher leadership, it felt like approximately 98% felt those answering felt like teachers empowered students, established a safe and orderly environment, and effectively used data. The only additional opportunity noted was that shared decision-making could further support teacher voice. Managing student conduct, approximately 91% felt that teachers routinely enforced conduct expectations. School leaders, administration supported those efforts at approximately 89%, and the 89.5% felt like the positive behavior supports were being implemented, and all the staff felt supportive, and that effective behavior management systems are in place to positively impact teaching and learning in our classrooms across Catawba County. Safety and well-being, 98.5% felt that staff knew how to respond in emergency situations, understood emergency procedures, 98.2%, and then 95.7% felt that school safety concerns are addressed quickly. I think just speaking to, since Mr. Westmoreland's taken over, we completed the activity, the lockdown activity that was well received. So I think any continued efforts to continue those efforts will go a long ways with our teachers. Facilities and resources. Teachers felt that light quality, supported instruction, building security was strong at approximately 96%. Building cleanliness was highly rated at over 90%. Staff generally felt that facilities are safe and functional, other than comfort and aging infrastructure being a concern across our schools. Community support and involvement. Staff felt that schools encouraged parental involvement. Teachers provide useful information, and parents are informed about school activities. Family engagement, communication are major strengths for Catawba County schools, and I think anytime you can keep the parents notified of what's going on and keep those lines of communication open, you're making great inroads, not only with the parents, but the children as well. Building stronger advocacy and support for teachers and families and community members present opportunities for continued growth. So anything we can do is to highlight all the great things going on in the classroom. I think we'll only continue to move up in that category. Professional learning and support, appropriate amount of professional development is provided. Professional learning that's provided enhances instructional practices, and approximately 85% felt that it allows there's time to implement what they learn in the classroom. The teachers felt the evaluation process was positive and a tool for professional growth, and then continued emphasis on actionable feedback can maximize its impact. And that's something that we're going to continue with C&I this year as far as the coaching conversations, providing teachers with that effective feedback. I'll give a shout out to Dr. McCrary. He's here, done an outstanding job last year speaking at the Midland High School of modeling that. We're able to do lots of classroom observations, and the feedback that we are able to provide is very well received by teachers. Instructional practices and support. Felt evaluators provided constructive feedback. 98% felt teachers had the opportunity to share their perspectives, and evaluation conversations focused on improvement. They felt the evaluation process was a positive tool for growth, and once again, the actionable feedback will only continue to make this category stronger in the 2 years when it's administered again. Time is the one that we only have a limited amount of and remains a struggle. I've probably had 7 or 8 teacher work condition surveys during my time as principal, and that's the area that presents the greatest challenge, not only as a building level administrator, but also to the district. And I think having been an elementary, middle, and high school principal, our elementary teachers do a lot of work and have very little time as far as planning. So anything we can do to support those teachers, I think will be well received. Not that our middle and high school teachers don't work hard. The elementary is just a different animal when you got those kids all day and looking at approximately 30 to 40-minute breaks.
We have this broken down by elementary, high, and
We do
Middle,
not, but if
we
you'd
don't.
like it, I can make it happen. So, non-discrimination, as far as strengths, we felt that the teachers, staff felt that Catawba County Schools provides a welcoming environment, respect for diverse cultures and practices, and that hiring and retention was viewed as fair. In addition to that, they felt continuing to meet the needs of diverse and special populations would further support those efforts. And then a general district-wide theme, as far as strengths, just to summarize that again: school safety and emergency preparedness, positive school culture and retention, parent communication and involvement, school leadership effectiveness, teacher leadership and instructional practices, and providing inclusive and welcoming environments. Areas for continued improvement, of course, time, addressing the basic needs of students, and I think Chairman Settlemeyer talked about summer feeding programs, different things like that, and I know we're probably getting ready to start a school collection for students who need school supplies. So those different things will continue to support those students who may have needs that they've been unable to meet elsewhere. Facility comfort and aging infrastructure, providing differentiated professional development, continue to focus on behavior, including student conduct, whether it pertains to disrespect, tardiness, or anything that interrupts classrooms, and then continue to allow our teachers a voice in the decision-making process. So, and overall, Catawba County Schools are a great place to work and learn. They're safe environments, effective leaders, positive family relationships, and supportive evaluation process. Any questions?
I don't have any, but thank you for that information.
All right, thank you.
Next item is approval of the ESP learning quote to purchase curriculum materials for the Exceptional Children's Program, again presented by Dr. Chad Maynard.
Yes. As to this item, this is a request from our EC department. A little about each of the different items that are included in the various categories. Sound Sensible is a program that has been purchased previously. It's for pre-K to kindergarten program. Spire has also been purchased several years. It is a K-8 print resource that includes phonemic awareness, phonics, spelling, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension components. iSpire is the online version of Spire, which is also K-8 digital resource. And then Spire Next is a print and digital resource for EC students that offer teacher materials, student consumables, workbooks, codable readers, assessments, instructional initiatives, and both digital and online resources. And you will see the total quote there. That is being, request is being made to use EC funding for those items.
A lot of materials in there.
Yeah,
This is just EC, correct?
yes.
There are no questions. I seek approval of the ESP learning quote to purchase curriculum materials for the Exceptional Children's Program as presented.
I have one question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
What's the reasoning behind,
Is that page,
On the back page there.
back page, shipping and
Yep.
handling? There are some consumables in this. As far as print materials, so my guess is that would be in the shipping of those hard copies that teachers and students will actually have in their hands.
also let you know a little bit more about time to check out? That way you guys, and what's in it too?
Yeah.
Chairman, I make the motion to accept as presented.
I hear a motion. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. That is unanimous. Thank you. Next up is approval of revision to the 2026-2027 school calendar for Challenger Early College, presented by Ms. Ray Thompson.
Good evening, Chairman, Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Stover. So we bring the final version of Challenger's calendar for 2026. CVCC has changed their graduation date, and so Challenger was able to change their graduation date. At the same time, we realized that there were 2 extra work days on the May 24th and 25th that were not necessary for their staff, so those have been removed. And the holiday, as a result, for Memorial Day was also moved to match CVCC's calendar to March the 29th. So they have a 4-day full weekend for Easter weekend. And these should be the last revisions for Challenger's calendar for this coming school year. Any questions about those? I know they were very excited that CVCC moved their graduation. CVCC's graduation will actually be May the 7th, but they won't finish classes at CVCC until the 10th officially, that following Monday. And Dr. Spry said that that is just the way they have set it up this year. But that allowed us to move graduation from May the 15th, that Saturday, back to our typical Friday for that.
Okay, I seek a motion to approve the revision of the 2026-2027 school calendar for Challenger Early College.
Make that motion.
Hearing a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. That is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next up is review and consideration of a 2027-2028 traditional calendar for Catawba County Schools.
Yes, sir. So you had asked me to bring a potential calendar for you to look at. It is has been reviewed by principals, several assistant principals, the Teacher Leadership Council. I tried to pull several folks in during June and July to kind of give some feedback on this. The biggest piece, I think, it looks pretty much exactly like our calendars have looked the last few years. There are 168 days in the calendar. It's a split of 78 days first semester, 90 days second semester for student days. 28 work days plus the 2 elementary only work days, and then our typical 11 holidays and 10 annual leave days. The point of discussion for folks around this calendar is that we have, we get out of school December the 17th in this draft, and then have 3 teacher work days that bump right up to the 23rd of December. Having those days that way, then we were able to leave spring break just as it traditionally is, backing up to Good Friday. We talked about the potential of taking one of those annual leave days from the week of spring break and moving it to the 22nd of December. We're only allowed 10 by the state, and so we always have to finagle that. In doing that, we would have moved spring break before Good Friday instead of after Good Friday. And the general consensus was, no, we really like to have it after Good Friday. So that they wanted the 22nd to remain an optional teacher workday. My concern was beginning teachers who maybe don't have many days built up that they can use for optional teacher workdays, but I think we can work with that. And if somebody doesn't have that day and they need to be able to travel before the 23rd, then we can work with them on some makeup time and do work with individuals on what they need specifically for that. Any questions or reflections on this calendar?
Thank you for putting this together.
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any further comments about the 27, 28 calendar? Okay, if nobody has any questions, I'd seek a motion for approval of the 27, 28 school calendar for Catawba County Schools.
I'll make a motion.
Hear a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise of hand. That is unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Next up is information on architectural designs for sixth grade middle schools presented by Mr. Westmoreland for additions and renovation project at H.M. Art Middle School, Jacobs Fork Middle School, Maiden Middle School, Mill Creek Middle School, and River Bend Middle School.
All right, good evening, Chairman Seldemeyer, members of the board, Dr. Stover. So tonight, do want to bring to you some updates on the progress of the middle school designs. And so we've been working closely with our architects, especially Robert. We really appreciate Robert's work on all this as well. And also our county government folks. They've been very instrumental in this process as well. We're really trying to finalize and get this and finalize the appropriate scale of this project. So we're utilizing the McKissick study that we've talked about before. Also, you'll see here as we go through, we're also factoring in the planned school merger and some availability at some classroom capacities at some other schools as well. So let's jump right in. We'll look here at Arndt. So the plan here is we're looking at a 4 classroom addition. So, and then also a cafeteria expansion as well. So that plan, the cafeteria hasn't changed any, but the 4 classroom addition is a reduction to our original plan. And we're gonna have to really rework some things within, but we feel like we can make that work. And so Arndt, I'm gonna scroll down here, you'll see what that looks like. So the 4 classrooms also with restrooms in there as well, coming off our Encore in there. So then really, honestly, at all our sites, we're really kind of limited where we can add some space. So that's, we felt like this is the best spot, working with the fire marshal and some access roads there with Robert. So we feel like this could be a good landing spot for this addition here.
Caulfield, is that where?
So, yeah, so it goes, yes, sir, it goes around to the back behind the school. I'm sorry, I don't have a shot, but right back here, there's an access road right in here that we're hoping we can tap into from a neighboring location. So we're actually, where we meet next week, next Tuesday, I think, to make sure that can happen. That way it'd save us a lot of, we don't have to clear all these woods and make another road. So we're hoping that works out.
We'll get rid of this road here that's.
Yes, sir. Yep, because we'll have we want to connect this building. We feel like that's very important, so that will cut off that road there. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
And I believe too, if we move, there's a hydrant over here. If we can also run and add another hydrant on this side, and I feel like that'll meet our code there. So that's the plan. Hopefully that'll come to fruition there. Okay, so that's Arndt. Looking at a 6,610 total square foot addition there on the side of the school. Marty, how do I go to the next one? Up top? Gosh, it's like I'm not going to be like Dan. I'm going to be able to do all myself up here. And I'm going to have to text him and tell him I had to call in for reinforcements. Got it? All right, so looking at here, Jacobs Fork. So original plan was Jacobs Fork, we were gonna put this in the bus parking lot. And so that was back when we were looking at a 6 to 8 edition. We really feel like 4 classrooms is what we need there. And so with 4 classrooms, we can kind of change our location. So we're looking at over here, adding in a 4 classroom pod right there between our 2 wings. This way, we would much rather do this than put it back behind the school. That way we can keep our classrooms together, like our 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, we can keep, so 4, don't have to split a grade level and send them all across the building. They're all going to be close together. We feel like that's very important. So with 4 classroom addition, we can really make it work in this spot. And so that's really going to work out well. We're going to cut through an existing classroom. I'll show you here what that looks like. We're going to cut through an existing classroom. That's going to give us some smaller spaces that we can repurpose, and we'll free up some larger classrooms. We're really not going to lose a lot with that plan. So that's Jacobs Fork. That's addition there is 4,725 total square feet. And also cafeteria expansion on this project as well.
Westmoreland, is
Sir.
that just adding the 4 versus 4? Term down the road having to do anything?
Well, right now, currently, with Jacobs Fork area, we feel like this, we can restructure a little bit. Well, there's some availability currently in that space. So we can tighten it up a little bit. That's not always popular within the schools, but we can make it work. We feel like, right now we're averaging about 8 classrooms a grade level. And so we feel like we can make this work. Yes, sir. Okay, top here. So Maiden, we went in depth with Holland Hammer here last month. So I won't go too far, but Mr. Sotomayor, you did ask for kind of an aerial shot, what that would look like with the new roads. And so they worked up a nice graphic for us here. You can kind of see how the parking. So here's our, I'll come back to that in a sec. So here's our addition. We're looking at eliminating the other side. We feel like we had 3s on each side last month, but really we're going to do a 4-pack here, which will give us enough space. So this will show you here. Oh, populate. Anyway, hopefully in your packet, it shows you here it's color coordinated. Like this right here would be 6th grade. And then this would be 7th and then 8th over here. So we can keep each grade level separate and have enough, so it'll be basically 9 classrooms, 8 classrooms with an additional EC. So it gives us 9 per, just like at Jacobs Fork and River Bend. So they're pretty similar in size. Then also you've got your office suite and cafeteria. Nothing's changed there. And the old cafeteria will become the EC suite. This building's a lot more reno in here. We've got old offices coming into classrooms. This one's going to be, we have to be very, very detailed plan in our phasing to pull this off. This is going to be a tricky one. And going back here, Mr. Sotomayor, you had asked, so this kind of shows you the roundabout, the drop off here. And then the buses, this will be a new road cutting in off this road. Buses coming in here to keep them separate. You can get to both parking lots, they'll be connected, but as far as like drop off, they won't cross over in the morning. Dismissal. We really like this design.
I like the parking lot better too. It makes sense now. It's kind of the wild, wild west out there.
It gives us some
Gonna do
parking
something,
lots for
yeah.
athletic events, so this is definitely an upgrade. And you'll see here, the baseball team will be excited. The fence is coming in, so they may actually have a few more home runs because this was a high school field originally, so they're coming in because we had to get this access road in here, so we're bumping the fence in to make it, really, it'll be regulation for middle school, so it'll get us some line there too. Okay. I click on here more. All right, so Mill Creek. So Mill Creek's a little bit different. So if you've driven down Molly's Backbone and back in that, I think it's Laurelbrook, I believe, that neighborhood, you can get lost in the neighborhood. So it's population out there and the Van East feeder, it's really starting to really pick up and really grow. So this one, we're anticipating tons of growth still, and McKissick study supports that. So we're looking at a 2-story. This one's gonna come off of one of, this right here is the encore wing with band and chorus and those classes. So it's gonna come off, it's gonna be a 2-story building here. It's gonna be 14 classrooms. And also a cafeteria expansion. So that's what, so this will have an elevator, 2 stories. So this is a top floor, or this is bottom floor and also a top floor here. So, and also come with restrooms. So having an elevator will be new to us. That has, for whatever reason, this third sheet's not wanting to populate, but it's the same thing. It's just mirrored top floor, bottom floor. So 14 classroom addition, which puts it in line. You've got 14 and 14 in the current setup now. So it's 14, 14, 14. So it'll be an even across the board there with the middle school, Mill Creek. So that's 12,000 per level. So we're looking at 24,000, a little over square foot total addition.
So this might be off topic, but how are we looking at bandies if we're needing to have this much room at Mill Creek?
It's coming. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's coming. High school will have a little bit more, we can buy a little bit more time just with scheduling and how we can, but it's coming. We're gonna need some. Yes, sir. It, honestly, it's land. It really is. It's not ideal. We just, then if we put it in the back and then we gotta move our buses and we don't know where to move our buses and it's just, we were just really limited. So we really just felt like this was the best spot. And it's one of the flattest spots too, so won't be as much grading.
Is our sewer plant gonna work out there?
It's a good question. So we've been, I don't know if have we finally got it official on that, Robert?
We got a recommendation. They don't think we'll have to add on that Mill Creek project.
Okay,
Nice.
that's gonna be my next question.
Good deal. Thank you.
Good, good, that's good.
That'll be some cost savings as well. And then Riverbend. Riverbend, much like Jacobs Fort, looking at the same, it's just flipped. It's just a mirrored flipped image there. So 4 classrooms. So really, it'll put, so your Jacobs Fort, Riverbend, and Maiden are going to be kind of like-sized classrooms and space. It'll be very similar. Of course, Mill Creek is anticipating lots of growth, and then Arndt, a little bit larger than the other 3. So kind of the same concept there. So, you know, with these reductions in classrooms that we originally planned, what that's going to do is allow us to free up, and we can tackle some other projects too, like chillers, boilers, things that aren't real fun or people get real excited about, except for the maintenance department. You know, those are, because we're really kind of ending the end of life of some of these. And those are big ticket items, they're expensive. So we would really like to work in that cost into this project. And also, we feel like there's a great need in our athletic facilities, like just restrooms. You know, we're having to use the porta potties for our communities at outside events. So we'd love to get some facilities out there. We feel like we can make those things work with this reduction of classrooms. So excited about that. So with that, our plan is to bring all this and have much, you know, better graphics and pictures and renderings for you next month for final approval of our schematic design there. So we'll bring in our architects, let them present, and let you guys just ask any questions you'd like. We want to give this to you in enough time to process. That way, when they come next month, you'll be able to kind of have time to process everything. So we'll bring that to you for approval next month. So with that, I'll happy to answer any further questions you guys may have.
So you said reductions, and this is gonna allow us to free up some money to do other things, but this still is gonna let us get our mission done with getting students in, place to sit.
6th grade, yes, sir. 6th grade to the middle school, absolutely. Yep.
Any further questions for Mr. Moreland? Westmoreland? Sorry about that. The Monday.
I'll answer to it. That's all right.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, guys.
Next up is approval of bid tabulation for awning projects at Blackburn Elementary and Claremont Elementary School, presented by Robert Hoyle.
Good evening, Dr. Stover, Chairman Settlemeyer, and members of the board. I bring to you tonight two bid tabulation forms, one for Claremont Elementary and one for Blackburn Elementary. The Claremont structure would be a sidewalk awning that would cover 214 feet of sidewalk, 170 feet between the office entrance and the existing awning, and then another 40 feet to the right of the existing awning. This is all in the front of the school. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, that's Blackburn. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I know they've needed this for a while out there, because one of the first years I was on the board, we were out there, and I told Dr. Stover he could dunk it out there. I'd try to get them an awning, so
Yeah,
he did, and here we go.
we are finally getting there. Yeah. We can do Blackburn first. Okay,
Both in our packets.
okay.
Robert, just for clarification, remind us that this budget is actually from last year's local budget, correct?
Capital outlay,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
right. And
Yes.
so this isn't the new monies. This is still from last year.
Yeah.
That's good too.
Both projects are coming out of that awning account. Yes, sir. Yes.
And this will allow car riders and the people getting them out of cars to keep drives. They're doing that process.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it would be, like I said, it's essentially 214 feet there at Claremont. It's a roll form baked enamel finish, and I did verify that there is a lifetime warranty on that finish. Now, that wouldn't include any kind of storm-related damage, that sort of thing, but
Gotcha.
but the finish itself is lifetime warranty. And it would, at Claremont, it would be in the front of the school, so it would give them a lot more coverage for drop-off and pickup. So,
Okay.
Blackburn would actually be in the front where they do car rider. You can see the radius canopy. The radius creates a little more cost because of the design, but it is 240 feet there in the front, and then to the back, and Lordy, you may have to. There we go. So the back is between the gymnasium and I think that's the 200 hall, that classroom building. They drop off bus riders there in that corner, and they have to come up that sidewalk into the long connector hallway. So this would give them coverage in the rain for that. But Blackburn, all told, is 340 feet of that roll form baked enamel finish, and we'll match the finish to what's already there canopy wise.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and so the winning bid in both cases was DDI Construction. At Claremont, it was 126,000, and at Blackburn, it was 175,000. And we do have a recent history with DDI. They did the Maiden Middle HVAC project last summer. We had a
Okay.
good outcome with them. So we
That's
feel-
the first thing they did for us too, wasn't it?
It was,
HVAC?
yes,
Okay.
sir. That is
That
correct.
turned out pretty good.
Did a good job, and we're on time. That's right.
Good deal.
That's exactly right. So we feel good about that. So. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that capital outlay rolls from year to year, so we're not under any pressure as far as time to spend it. Yes, sir. So, and we actually will have money left out of last year's budget, and we're going to receive some more canopy or awning money this year. So we're going to be able to do a couple more schools throughout the year. So we're excited about that too, because they all need some of that.
So if we approve this tonight, they'll get started on it pretty soon, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So and we feel like we've talked to Ms. Cable and also to Jamie down at Claremont, and we feel like we can make it work with school going on. If not, we can coordinate with Christmas break or one of the other student breaks. I think they'll go in pretty quick once we get started. But yeah, so we would ask, operations would ask to approve both of those bid tabs.
There was quite a variation in the bids as we see here. I mean, is justification that they gave for that, or is feel uncomfortable that they're so low on both of these?
I think it's scheduling, honestly. I think their schedule allows more time to do the project. I think
Neil, I think, was busier. Not sure about the other bidders, but I think that's a lot of it. And they did tell me that they're going to contract with Annis Owning, which is another local company,
Gotcha.
to do the project. So I feel good about that too. It is baked on, yes. It's an aluminum material, but it has baked on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have a mix of the baked enamel and then the extruded. The extruded is much more expensive. And so the baked enamel allows us to stay in our budget and hopefully do more. Yes. And I'll be happy to answer any of them.
If there are no further questions on this owning bid tabulation for Blackburn and Claremont, I seek approval of what's been presented by Mr. Hoyle.
That motion we approve.
Hear a motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is the approval of the 2025-2026 Facility Needs Survey certification for submission to the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, again presented by Mr. Hoyle.
So every 5 years, North Carolina General Statute 115C requires all LEAs in North Carolina to collect data and submit a facility needs survey. So the core mandates of that are to evaluate and report building capacities, facility conditions, and multi-year capital improvement programs and plans. So DPI harvests this data and then combine all the data from the LEAs and submit a report to the state government. So we contracted with BASCA LLC in 2024 for this study, for this 5 years. We also did that in 2020 for that 5-year cycle as well. So we do have a good history with BASCA. They also were a part of the McKissick study. So we were able to get some discount by the data collection serving both purposes. So that was good as well. Mr. Moore worked that out for us a couple of years ago. So what you guys have in your packet is considered an executive summary of the book. And I think Debbie has passed along the full book in digital form now too.
You have your notebook, you want to hold it up so we can see it?
Yeah. Easy read.
Yeah, so if you want something to put you to sleep at night.
Yeah, if
just,
you have any trouble sleeping, it's a good resource. A lot of numbers, and so to kind of boil it down to the facts, what it says for Catawba County Schools is that we have construction needs of $111 million, and that is primarily the middle schools, which we are working on. So that's a good thing for us. We have a renovation need of $65 million. And renovations are not just cosmetic, but they're the chillers, the boilers, the plumbing, the electrical needs, switch gears. So, a lot of that is contained in the high schools, honestly, the older high schools and Maiden Middle School. So, furniture and equipment needs of more than $2 million, central office facility needs of $6 million, school bus garage, that sort of thing. And then it also asked for a projection of the next 5 years, which is 2030 to 2034, and we had $11 million in needs for that section as well. So all told, our critical needs is $194.7 million. So it's a significant amount of money that we need to keep our schools in good repair. So it really is, it was a lot of work, and our staff did a great job of helping BASCA with budgets and cost models, and the schools did an excellent job in their interviews with things they need on the school side. So I commend all that were involved with that. What the operations department asked the board to approve is that the DPI study is an accurate representation of the district's long-range capital and facility requirements, and then also authorize BASCA to submit that to the State Board of Education. and I'm happy to answer any questions about the study.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, sir. It is a lot. And we've, through this process with Catawba County government and their construction guys, this topic has come up beyond the middle schools, and they know it's coming. So the county is been really good to go ahead and start discussing that with us.
Okay, if there's no further questions, I seek a motion for approval of the 2025, 2026 facility needs survey certification for submission to the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. And if you make the motion, there's a note out there about wording it.
I'll make that motion.
Read the statement.
Carolina General Statute. I move the Catawba Valley Board of Education approve the prize its submission to the state, certifying the identified needs are accurate representation, capital and facility.
Could I get you to make a quick correction there? You mispronounced the first part of that. Catawba County Board of Education, you did something different there. Thank you. All right, I hear a motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. That is unanimous. Thank you. Next up is approval of Conover School agreement between Catawba County Board of Education, Newton Conover Board of Education, and Hickory City Board of Education, led by Mr. Jonathan Sink.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board. Appreciate the time. Dr. Stover, thank you for letting me work on this interlocal agreement on behalf of CCS and the board. What you see in front of you, board members, is 15 pages of a lot of back and forth in a good way, in a very collegial, cordial way between us and Newton Conover Schools, Dr. Emily Shaw, and some of her staff over there, Seth Privet for us, and Dr. Ashbrook were huge in getting pen to paper on this and getting it finally inked. And we are the last signature, I believe, to sign. So the whole gist of this is doing exactly that, putting pen to paper, making black and white a relationship that has existed. This is not a new thing. The Conover School, very thankful for the funding we have to keep it going. And so it's about stability, clarity, and legal protection when you get right down to it. Not going into the 15 pages, I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts, of course. But it confirms continuation of that relationship between the three feeder school systems that it looks like are going to be merged or heading towards that prospective merger. And this agreement should carry us forward just fine going into that merger. Approval matters of this agreement. Ratification of this agreement matters for several reasons. It's all about the student, right? I mean, when we talk about a separate setting for special education children, it's all about that student, his or her unique needs, and that IEP team around him or her to help him make, maximum progress towards his IEP goals or her IEP goals as possible and related services. It's about fair funding. It's about teasing out in these 15 pages who is going to pay for what and when. And again, thanks to Mr. Privet, we have very clear operating principles in place for how it's going to be paid for. We don't have a ton of students in the school. We may be coming up, maybe dealing with several in this separate setting who I don't know an exact amount, but What it does is say, okay, homeschool, you're sending a student via the IEP process. IEP, of course, individualized education program in the EC, exceptional children special ed context. They meet, they think that Conover School's right for that child, great. They document, they send the child, he's still going to be, or she's still going to be a Catawba County School student, but placed in that separate special education setting because they're very intensive needs, as you all probably already know. These folks who are doing the Lord's work are not, it's not uncommon for you to see a one-on-one nurse or nursing assistant or very high-end technology to even help an arm reach a mouth or a hand to pen and paper, or the electronic derivative thereof. So it does nothing to take away from IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, the federal law governing special education at all. In fact, this very 15 pages was crafted in view of IDEA. And it even has, if something were to go wrong between the three feeder systems who are playing party to this agreement, mediation routes in place to where you're not just litigating. And it's just gone very smoothly. Again, thanks to our staff and their staff for the collaboration on this, but thankful to be a small part of continuing this, what I love, special education with this very special school. But would love to answer any questions. This is on for approval. And again, the others, I believe, have signed.
So can we set this up where we could get, like, maybe at one of our work sessions, how many kids we have there and the funding that we're sending over to school there?
We currently have 29 students, and there's an opportunity to have a few more that we haven't been able to process to that school because of our agreement from the last few years. When Newton Conover asked to meet with us regarding this, we know how special it is and how great it is, and I thank the board for just considering how to help Newton Conover in this situation, going and serving an incredible population. So we can get some more information, but basically we're budgeting around $750,000 to ensure that all the students at Catawba are served the best of their ability, have everything they need there, including equipment, power, staff. Again, I contribute, or I thank the budgeting process from our EC department, our Board of Education, finance team. We do have Medicaid funds in order to handle that, and because we've been good stewards of our dollars. And so I applaud all of our stakeholders allowing us to have that ability to keep Conover School one of the best schools in the state to serve our EC population.
Again, this is for the children that especially have these needs. Thank you for your work on it. Thank you for Mr. work, Mr. Privet, as well. Are there any further questions for Mr. Sink on this? If not, I seek a motion for approval of Conover School Agreement between Catawba County Board of Education, Newton Conover Board of Education, Hickory City's Board of Education.
That motion?
Hearing a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise a hand. Unanimous, thank you. Next up is approval of proposed sponsorship agreement between Pepsi Company and Catawba County Board of Education for Bandy's High School, Bunker Hill High School, and Maiden High School. Presented again by Mr. Jonathan Sink.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board. This is, again, a lot of papers that memorialize a relationship that's been pretty long-standing anyway. I believe this has been going on for at least several years between Pepsi Bottling Co. of Hickory and us, and it is for those three high schools. What it is in a nutshell is we get a few $1,000s. I believe it's $5,000 per school, and they get to some name ID via banners and so forth. They provide the vending machines, and they set it up so that we get a commission off of that. So it's a good relationship. It's not breaking them, and it's not breaking us. And Dr. Stover is always good about identifying extra funds within the parameters of law that we can get in beyond state and local funding. It's one of them.
No one has any questions for Mr. Sink. I seek approval of the proposed sponsorship agreements between PepsiCo and Catawba County Board of Education for Bandings High School, Bunker Hill High School, and Maiden High School.
I make a motion, we make approval.
Hearing a motion, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, show raise your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you, sir. Next up, our presentation of first readings on proposed Catawba County Board of Education policies. 4.0000, student privacy in restrooms, locker rooms, and overnight accommodations. And 7.0000, video and audio recordings in classrooms, again presented by Mr. Sink.
That's right, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board. These two policies are just on for first reading. The first is for student privacy in restrooms, locker rooms, and overnight accommodations. You'll see throughout this document the buzzword multi-use facilities. And so the common thread, as you can just see commonsensically between these destinations, restrooms, locker rooms, or overnight accommodations, they have more than one person in them. And so with that, the question is, what is a student's reasonable expectation of privacy when they're in a locker room, when they're in a bathroom, not just a private, one person bathroom, but in a large, you're at halftime of a basketball game or football game, and there's a bunch of other people in there using the restroom. Overnight accommodations, and it all goes back to what the board has asked me to advance, which is what it's heard from its constituents, the voters who put you in your seats, and that is for clarity, privacy, dignity, and common sense. The board is not unaware also of case law that is on the books on this, not just in our Fourth Circuit, but all over the country. You can turn on any news channel and know that issues such as these are being litigated all over the United States. And we will see if anything transpires to the point where split rulings go all the way up to the Supreme Court. We're not there yet. The U.S. Supreme Court, we're not there yet, but you were very clear in what you wanted, and that is to align with what the presidential administration currently has ordered via executive order the Department of Education to do, and that is to administer all of its policy and renderings, whether it's the Office for Civil Rights, everything under its umbrella based on biological sex, the sex assigned at birth. So this will definitely get attention, I'm sure, but that is the policy on for first reading tonight in a nutshell, is that when it comes to restrooms, when it comes to locker rooms, when it comes to overnight accommodations, that those of a certain biological sex will remain with those of the same biological sex, except for case, life and death, health and safety emergencies, stuff like that. If you need to use an open space like that as a bomb shelter, I don't even want to say it, but there are some exceptions built in for that. And there's real life exceptions based into the policy for one-on-one accommodations based on what individuals might need based on their gender or gender identity that staff have successfully been accommodating for a long time. So this just memorializes that. And I'll yield for any questions unless, Chairman, you want me to go on to the next and whatever the pleasure of the board.
Yes, you
is.
can go ahead and go to 7.0000, video and audio recordings in classrooms.
Yeah, 7.000, and we're going to find a better number for that. But I just want y'all to see, we wanted y'all to see what is being recommended and passed in pertinent part by most school systems that we're seeing. It's a recommended draft policy from the state, the North Carolina SBA, School Board Association. And what you will see is language in there about audio and video recordings throughout our school system. What you won't see, hopefully you won't see it because I took out about half of the policy, unless this policy's, unless what's on the screen is the original, is some language. I eliminated language that would deviate from our state's statutory reality that North Carolina is one of 38 states that's called, we're known as a one-party consent state. When I explain it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I knew that. But it's, if Madam Chair, Vice Chair and I are having a conversation and we're just at Bojangles or something, having lunch, she could record the conversation as a party to that lunch meeting, or I could, without saying, hey, are you okay with me recording? That's North Carolina's default rule. That's what it is in North Carolina. What was in here before I removed it, and it is my recommendation if the board moves forward with this draft policy, is to move forward with it in a way that we do not blur the lines between us as a mini state, we're really not, a county is a mini state, but us as Catawba County Schools being anything different than that one party reality. There are things in the original draft handed down by the state association, the school board association, that would have required additional duties and obligations upon our school staff. When I think about Ray Thompson's world, HR, and whether it's a summative meeting and you're going over a teacher's performance, or we're in a meeting that deals with a child-related investigation, placing additional duties on top of what state law makes very clear is okay to do, and that's one-party consent recording, to me was not in this district's based on the 7 electeds that I know and where you stand on issues. I just thought we needed to keep things clear, make it clear that we are not only a one-party consent state, but that we are operating as such within our school system, and that if you say something in CCS, there's a reasonable presumption that that other person might record it. And at the same time, in this very document, you'll see that secret recordings of other people, which is already outlawed at law. In other words, if Dr. Stover and Debbie and I, if there's a triangular situation going there and they siphon off to the side, I can't record their conversation. That's not North Carolina law. That is unlawful. That is spoken for and considered and incorporated in the document before you. It's a long-winded way of saying what's on for first reading, but we'll get a better policy number for that, Chairman, and yield for questions, concerns, anything.
Notifications that I want to make will protect the board, our students, and our staff is we have cameras in the classroom. That's for everybody's protection. And I want everybody to be aware that there is a policy and that obviously Catawba County Schools has the right to do that, but people also need to know what's happening there. So Mr. Sink's been able to preserve that. Also this morning, as we spoke to, I know Ms. Thompson was grateful to get language in there that was more accurate around our law of what people can record, right? And so Mr. Sink did a lot of work on this policy. I appreciate it. What I've got just share with Chairman is the redacted parts. I think it'd be a lot to actually see everyone redacted, but we'll make sure that we get that out to you all. And then that way you have time this month to take a look at it. Document.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Sink on either the policies 4000 or 7000 as presented? Again, this is just the first reading. Will require a second reading in August before anything's approved. There are no questions. This is the end of our business. We will go into closed session. Beginning at 7:25 this evening. So I seek a motion to go into closed session, General Statute 143-318-11 Alpha, to protect confidential or privileged information, to consult with an attorney to protect the attorney-client privilege, and personnel.
I'll make a motion.
Your motion, is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor shall raise the hand. That is unanimous. Return here at 7:25. Thank you.